All right, welcome everybody to this glorious day, April 23rd, 2014. Today happens to be the 450th birthday of William Shakespeare. Thank you very much. All right, today we are starting the first annual Woodward Academy Shakespearean Festival and Sonnet Slam. Over the course of the every period today, we're going to read, recite, perform all 154 Shakespearean sonnets. In addition, we will have performances by the Woodward Dance Ensemble and the theater department and the music department. We're going to kick things off today with my reading sonnet number 1. What's going to happen is that I'll start off reading sonnet number 1, and then the other participants will come to the stage to my left, your right, come up these stairs, read sonnet number 2, and then come off the other side of the stairs. And then we'll do the rotation until we do all 154 sonnets today. All right, I'm going to start a new tradition. What I'd like for you all to do when you read for your sonnet is Scott Crook was kind enough to let us use his Shakespeare bust as our logo for this particular event. So what I want to do is that when you come up and you give your sonnet, all right, I want you to rub Shakespeare's head for good luck. All right, as you go and you read your sonnet, before you read your sonnet. In addition, before we actually start the sonnet reading, I'd like for everybody to join me in singing Happy Birthday to William Shakespeare. All right, on 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Shakespeare. Happy birthday to you. All right. All right. This is sonnet number 1 by William Shakespeare. From fairest creatures we desire increase, that thereby beauty's rose might never die. But as the riper should by time decease, his tender air might bear his memory. But thou, contracted to thine own bright eyes, feedest thy light's flame with self-substantial fuel, making a famine where abundance lies, thyself, thy foe, to thy sweet self too cruel. Thou art now the world's fresh ornament, and only herald to the gaudy spring. Within thy own bud bearest thy content, and tender churl makest waste in niggarding. Pity the world, or else this glutton be, to eat the world's due by the grave and by thee. All right, whoever's reading sonnet number 2, come on up. All right, now what we have here is reading sonnet number 2 is Mr. Evan Elam. Brother, let's go.
Okay, this is sonnet number 2 according to Wikipedia. Okay. Yes, but I got it off Wikipedia, so I don't know if it's right. When 40 winters shall besiege thy brow, and dig deep trenches in thy beauty's field, thy youth's proud livery, so gaze it on now, will be a tattered weed of small worth held. Then, being asked where all thy beauty lies, where all the treasure of thy lusty days, to say within thine own deep sunken eyes were an all-eating shame and thriftless praise. How much more praise deserved thy beauty's use, if thou couldst answer, this fair child of mine shall sum my count and make my old excuse. Proving his beauty by succession thine, this were to be new made when thou art old, and see thy blood warm when thou feel'st it cold.
All right, thank you very much. Reading sonnet number 3 is Amy Gorowitz.
Okay. Look in thy glass and tell the face thou viewest. Now is the time that face should form another, whose fresh repair if now thou not renewest. Thou dost beguile the world, unbless some mother. For where is she so fair whose unneared womb disdains the tillage of thy husbandry? Or who is he so fond will be the tomb of his self-love to stop posterity? Thou art thy mother's glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely April of her prime. So thou through windows of thine age shalt see, despite of wrinkles, this thy golden time. But if thou live, remembered not to be, die single, and thine image dies with thee.
All right, thank you very much. Now, reading sonnet number 4, Kat Huber.
Unthrifty loveliness, why dost thou spend upon thyself thy beauty's legacy? Nature's bequest gives nothing but doth lend, and being frank, she lends to those are free. Then, beauteous miser, why dost thou abuse the bounteous largeness given to thee? Profitless usurer, why dost thou use so great a sum of sums, yet canst not live, for having traffic with thyself alone, thou of thyself, thy sweet self, dost deceive. Then how, when nature calls thee to be gone, what acceptable audit canst thou leave? Thy unused beauty must be tuned with thee, which use lives the executioner to be.
Up next, reading sonnet number 5, we have Callie Kennedy.
Those hours that with gentle work did frame the lovely gaze where every eye doth dwell, will play the tyrants to the very same, and that unfair which fairly doth excel. For never resting time leads summer on to hideous winter, and confounds him there. Sap checked with frost, and lusty leaves quite gone. Beauty oversnowed, and bareness everywhere. Then, were not summer's distillation left, a liquid prisoner, pent in walls of glass. Beauty's effect with beauty were bereft, nor it, nor no remembrance what it was. But flowers distilled, though they with winter meet, least but their snow, their substance still lives sweet.
Now reading sonnet number 6, we have up Matthew Kennedy.
Then let not winter's ragged hand deface in thee thy summer. Ere thou be distilled, make sweet some vial. Treasure thou some place with beauty's treasure, ere it be self-killed. That use is not forbidden usury, which happies those that pay the willing loan. That's for thyself to breed another thee. Or 10 times happier, be it 10 for 1. 10 times thyself were happier than thou art. If 10 of thine 10 times refigured thee, then what could death do, if thou shouldst depart, leaving thee living in posterity? Be not self-willed, for thou art much too fair, to be death's conquest and make worms thine heir.
Thank you very much. Reading sonnet number 7, we have Christopher Kennedy.
Lo, in the Orient, when the gracious light lifts up his burning head, each under eye, both homage to his new appearing sight, serving with looks his sacred majesty. Pardon me. And having climbed the steep up heavenly hill, resembling strong youth in his middle age, yet mortal looks adore his beauty still, attending on his golden pilgrimage. But when from highmost pitch with weary car, like feeble age he reeleth from the day,
All right, thank you very much. Reading sonnet number 8, we have Alex Kamandarakis.
Music to hear, why hearest thou music sadly? Sweets with sweets war not, joy delights in joy. Why lovest thou that which thou receivest not gladly, or else receivest with pleasure thine annoy? If the true concord of well-tuned sounds, by unions married, do offend thine ear, then do but sweetly chide thee, who confounds in singleness the parts that thou shouldst bear. Mark how one string, sweet husband to another, strikes each and each by mutual ordering, resembling sire and child and happy mother, who all in one pleasing note do sing, whose speechless song, being many, seeming one, sings this to thee, thou single wilt prove none.
Thank you. Reading sonnet number 9, we have Sarah Krawcheck.
Is it for fear to wet a widow's eye that thou consumest thyself in single life? If thou issueless shalt hap to die, the world will wail thee like a makeless wife. The world will be thy widow and still weep, that thou no form of thee hast left behind, when every private widow well may keep by children's eyes her husband's shape in mind. Look what an unthrift in the world doth spend, shifts but his place, for still the world enjoys it, but beauty's waste hath in the world an end, and kept unused the user so destroys it. No love toward others in that bosom sits, that on his self such murder shame commits.
All right, thank you very much. Reading sonnet number 10, we have Danielle Kreger.
For shame deny that thou bearest love to any, for who thyself art so unproven. Grant, if thou wilt, thou art beloved of many, but thou none lovest is more evident. For thou art so possessed with murderous hate, that gainst thyself thou stickest not to conspire, seeking that beauteous roof to reunite, which to repair should be thy chief desire. O change thy thought, that I may change my mind. Shall hate be fairer lodge than gentle love? Be as thy presence is, gracious and kind, or to thyself at least kind-hearted prove. Make thee another self, for love of me, that beauty still may live in thine or thee.
All right, thank you very much. Reading sonnet number 11, we have Satvik Nambarar.
As fast as thou shalt wane, so fast thou growest in one of thine from that which thou departest. and that fresh blood which youngly thou bestowest, thou mayst call thine when thou from youth convertest. Herein lives wisdom, beauty, and increase. Without this, folly, age, and cold decay. If all were minded so, the time should cease, and 80 years would make the world away. Let those whom nature hath not made for stone, harsh, featureless, and rude, barrenly perish. Look, whom she best endowed, she gave the more, which bounteous gift thou shouldst in bounty cherish. She carved thee for her seal, and meant thereby thou shouldst print more, and not let that copy die.
All right, thank you very much. All right, up next we have a special guest performance by our one and only Mr. Scott Crook, our co-sponsor of this particular Shakespearean event.
Good morning. Just a little bit of information for you. We have absolutely no record that Shakespeare was born on this day. We're doing this strictly because it was tradition that you were christened or baptized 3 days after you were born at that time. We do know, because it's written down in a very valuable church document in Stratford-upon-Avon, that Shakespeare was baptized on April 26th. So we just count back 3 days and celebrate Shakespeare's birthday on today. I wish he had been born on April 26th, because that happens to be my birthday. Sonnet number 12. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and see the brave day sunk in hideous night, when I behold the violet past prime, and sable curls all silvered o'er with white, when lofty trees I see barren of leaves, which erst from heat did canopy the herd, and summer's green all girded up in sheaves, borne on the bier with white and gristly beard, then of thy beauty do I question make, that thou among the waste of time must go, since sweets and beauties do themselves forsake, and die as fast as they see others grow. And nothing 'gainst time's scythe can make defense, save breed to brave him when he takes thee hence.
All right, thank you very much, Coach Crook. All right, now we have up next, reading Shakespearean Sonnet number 13, we have Mr. Sam Shipp.
Oh, that you were yourself, but love you are, no longer yours, that you yourself here live. Against this coming end you should prepare, and your sweet semblance to some other give. So should that beauty which you hold in lease find no determination, then you were yourself gain again after yourself decease. When your sweet issue your sweet form should bear, who lets so fair a house fall to decay, with which husbandry and honor might uphold against the stormy gusts of winter's day, and barren rage of death, eternal cold. Oh, none but unthrifts, dear my love, you know, you had a father, let your sons say so.
All right, thank you very much. Up next, we have reading Sonnet number 14, the very special Mrs. Caroline Haldeman. Rub. There you go.
I will tell you that before I wanted to read my sonnet, I wanted to make sure I understood what it meant. If you have read a sonnet and you think, I'm not real sure what every line meant, go to Shakespearesonnets.com, and it will give you line by line what yours means if you're confused. Sonnet 14. Not from the stars do I my judgment pluck, and yet methinks I have astronomy, but not to tell of good or evil luck, of plagues, of dearths, or seasons' quality, nor can I fortune to brief minutes tell, pointing to each his thunder, rain, and wind. or say with princes, if it shall go well, by oft predict that I in heaven find. But from thine eyes my knowledge I derive, and constant stars, in them I read such art as truth and beauty shall together thrive. If from thyself to store thou wouldst convert, or else of thee this I prognosticate, thy end is truth's and beauty's doom and date.
All right, thank you very much. Reading sonnet number 15, we have Nick Gambino.
Sonnet number 15, ladies and gentlemen. When I consider everything that grows, holds in perfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth naught but shows, whereon the stars and secret influence comment, when I perceive that men as plants increase, cheered and cheeked, even by the same self-sky, vaunt in their youthful sap at height decrease, and aware their brave state out of memory, then the conceit of the inconstant stay sets you most rich in youth before my sight, when wasteful time debateth with decay, to change your days of youth to sullied night, and all in war with time for love of you, as he takes from you, I engraft you new.
Thank you very much. Reading Shakespearean sonnet number 16. Once again, we have Coach Crook.
And everybody remember that the word wherefore in Shakespeare means why. But wherefore do not you a mightier way make war upon this bloody tyrant time, and fortify yourself in your decay with means more blessed than my barren rhyme? Now stand you on the top of happy hours, and many maiden gardens yet unset with virtuous wish would bear your living flowers, much liker than your painted counterfeit. So should the lines of life that life repair with this, time's pencil or my pupil pen, neither in inward worth nor outward fare can make you live yourself in eyes of men. To give away yourself keeps yourself still, and you must live drawn by your own sweet skill.
All right, thank you very much, Coach Crook. Up next, we have reading Shakespearean sonnet number 17. We have a duo. All right, we have Sarah Ann Owens and Aruj Collins.
Who will believe my verse in time to come, if it were filled with your most high deserts, though yet, heaven knows, it is but as a tomb, which hides your life and shows not half your parts? If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the age to come would say, this poet lies.
Such heavenly touches never touch the earthly faces. So should my papers, yellowed with their age, be scorned like old men of less truth and tongue, and your name true rights be termed a poet's rage, and stretched meter of an antique song, but were some child of yours alive that time, you should live twice, in it and in my rhyme.
All right, up next, reading Shakespearean sonnet number 18, we have Dean Elaine Carroll. It's a little bit changed from your program, but Dean Carroll was kind enough to come in and pinch hit, and she's reading perhaps Shakespeare's most famous sonnet, sonnet number 18. Dean?
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. and every fair from fairsome time declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade. When eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
I owe you one, Dean. I owe you one. I owe Dean Carroll one, and I'm lucky I still have a job. Inside joke. All right, here we go. Reading Shakespearean sonnet number 19. We have another duet, Alex Eidson and Caroline Mueller.
Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaw, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood.
Make glad and sorry seasons as thou fleets, and do whate'er thou wilt, swift-footed time, to the wide world and all her fading sweets, but I forbid thee one most heinous crime.
O carve not with thy horns my love's fair brow, nor draw no lines there with thine antique pen. Him in thy course untainted do allow, for beauty's pattern to succeeding men.
Yet do thy worst, old time, despite thy wrong. My love shall in my verse ever live young.
All right, thank you very much. We have another little bit of a change from the program. We have another duet reading Shakespearean sonnet number 20. We have Alice Kreitman and Josh Cohen. Make sure you rub it. Good luck.
A woman's face with nature's own hand painted, hast thou, the master's mistress of my passion. A woman's gentle heart, but not acquainted with shifting change as is false woman's fashion. An eye more bright than theirs, less false and rolling, gilding the object whereupon it gazeth. A man in hue, all hues in his controlling.
Which steals men's eyes and women's souls amazeth. And for a woman wert thou first created, till nature, as she wrought thee, fell a-doting, and by addition me of thee defeated, by adding one thing to my purpose nothing. But since she pricked thee out for women's pleasure, mine be thy love, and thy loves use their treasure. Just doing the first step.
Hold on a second, let me. All right, thank you very much. Reading sonnet number 21, we have Josh Cohen once again and Charlie Carroll. All right,
yeah, it's gonna be great.
Oh, sorry.
It's good. It's
They
good.
didn't tell me. Okay.
We're good.
Do not lean and speak into the mic. Do not lean.
Okay.
Yes, I'll do something. So it is not with me as with that muse, stirred by a painted beauty to his verse, who heaven itself for ornament doth use, and every fair with his fair doth rehearse, making a couplement of proud compare, with sun and moon, with earth and seas, rich gems, with April's firstborn flowers, all things rare that heaven's air in his huge rondure hems.
Oh, let me, true in love, but truly right, and then believe me, my love is as fair as any mother's child, though not so bright. Those gold candles fixed in heaven's air, let them say more that like of here say well. I will not praise that purpose not to sell.
All right, as you can see, I made a mistake. The last one was read by Grace and not by Charlie. I wasn't aware of that until we went live. All right, but anyway, let's continue on with the festival. Reading Shakespearean sonnet number 22. We have another duet. We have Lucy Banks Smith and Annie Streeter.
My glass shall not persuade me I am old, so long as youth and thou are of one date. But when in the time's furrows I behold. Then look I death my days should expiate. For all that beauty that doth cover thee is but the seemly raiment of my heart, which in thy breast doth live as thine in me. How can I then be elder than thou art? O therefore, love, be of thyself so wary, as I not for myself but for thee will, bearing thy heart which I will keep so chary, as tender nurse her babe from faring ill. Presume not on thy heart when mine is slain. Thou gavest me thine not to give back again.
All right, thank you very much. Continuing on, we have Shakespearean sonnet number 23, another duet read by John Dupree and Katie Feldman.
As an unperfect actor on the stage, who with his fear is put besides his part, or some fierce thing replete with too much rage, whose strength abundance weakens his own heart. So I, for fear of trust, forget to say the perfect ceremony of love's rite. And in mine own love's strength seem to decay, or charged with burden of mine own love's might.
Oh, let my books be then the eloquence and dumb presagers of my speaking breast, who plead for love and look for recompense, more than that tongue that none hath more expressed. Oh, learn to read what silent love hath writ, to hear with eyes belong to love's fine wit.
All right, here we go. Reading Shakespearean sonnet number 24. We have Molly Parodies.
Okay. Mine eye hath played the painter and hath steeled thy beauty's form and table of my heart. My body is the frame wherein 'tis held, and perspective that is best painter's art. For through the painter must you see his skill, to find where your true image pictured lies, which in my bosom's shop is hanging still, that hath his windows glazed with thine eyes. Now see what good turns eyes for eyes have done. Mine eyes have drawn thy shape, and thine from me. My windows are to my breast, where through the sun delights to peep, to gaze therein on thee. Yet eyes as cunning want to grace their art, they draw but what they see, now not the heart.
All right, reading the last sonnet for this particular hour should be Mr. Ben Shivers. Is Ben here? Okay. All right, so what we're going to do for this is that if this is a wild card event, if anybody wants to come up to the mic and read sonnet number 25, please feel free to do so. If that doesn't happen, we have somebody. Come on up. All right, this is reminiscent of Guerrilla Shakespeare, where people just come to the park and perform on the spot. This may happen throughout the entire day. So if someone doesn't show up who's scheduled to show up, I will always open up to the audience for a wild card invitation to come up and read impromptu one of Shakespeare's sonnet. And so, come on, there you go. All right, introduce yourself. Wait a minute, rub your head. Introduce yourself and read them.
Hi, I'm Alex Isson. This is Sonnet 25. Let those who are in favor with their stars of public honor and proud titles boast, whilst I, whom fortune of such triumph bars, unlooked for joy in that I honor most. Great princes' favorites their fair leaves spread, but as the marigold at the sun's eye, and in themselves their pride lies buried, for at a frown they in their glory die. The painful warrior, famous for worth, after 1,000 victories once foiled, is from the book of honor raised quite, and all the rest forgot for which he toiled. Then happy I that love and am beloved, where I may not remove nor be removed.
Thanks. Very good. All right. Thank you very much. That is the last sonnet we have for this particular class period. We are going to set up for sonnets number 26 through 50, starting at the beginning of second period. Thank you very much for coming out for the first period. We will have an interlude session prior to the sonnet starting next period. I hope you all enjoyed the first period performances of Shakespearean sonnets 1 through 25.